Free Palestine! Not on glory! Not on glory! There we go! Yeah! Hey! The American flag.
We did, idiot!
It's our country. It's our country.
Fuck this country! Burn it down! Burn it down!
You guys are the enemy. Don't burn the flag. I don't care what you say. Don't burn the American flag.
Fuck yeah, baby!
Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! The white children in Gaza are being murdered. The people responsible are having a fucking party in this fucking city. This is what we think of your fucking rag. This is what we think of your fucking rag. The only acceptable American flag is one that is burned to char.
What about global warming?
Y'all heard that? He said the only acceptable American flag is the one that's burned and charred. And that sounds very similar to that sounds very similar to how they used to talk about Gad and Reuben. But first and foremost, I want to give all glory, honor, and praise unto my power, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. A shalom to all you sincere-hearted true believers. Right, today's lesson, I want to go into, the fate of America, man. It's sealed. It's done. The Heavenly Father is speedily moving against this place, man. Right. There's so many different things happening on a daily basis, on a small local level, geopolitical level, national level, global level. Right. Constantly, that's that the Heavenly Father is causing to brew up with the intent of destroying America, man. Right. And that's what's coming. Right. And you Akim, you Akwaf, we ain't even got to lift up a finger. All we got to continue to do is keep believing and preaching the word. Right. Y'all see it. Y'all see it for yourselves.
This isn't good at all.
Hey,
All right. Y'all see that.
boot-licking motherfuckers protecting them?
Right. Yeah. So let's get into the scriptures. Right. We got Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter right here. Right. Whether as well as a few other scriptures. But all of this is happening because the Heavenly Father is bringing an end to this society, man. Right. You read in word. I'm going to get that. But let's get this real quick just to touch on it. Right. Job, the 14th chapter. Right. Job chapter 14 and verse 5. Seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. Right. So that's the point. Right. That's the point. Ultimately, this is talking about Esau, Edom, and how the Heavenly Father, Salakia, has only set him up for a short period of time. And we, having the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that the Heavenly Father is blessed and bestowed upon us, we can see that the time is fastly approaching. Ecclesiastes 8 and 5. Whoso keepeth the commandment shall feel no evil thing, and a wise man's heart discerneth both time and judgment. We can see that the judgment of Esau, Edom is drawing near, man. Right? Because ultimately, like it talks about in Revelation, the 20th chapter, the Heavenly Father has set Esau, Edom up for a short period of time, right? That he may be loosed a little season to deceive the nations, right? So going into it, you can get the breakdown yourself. But Revelation 20 and verse 3, and cast him into the bottomless pit. This is talking about the Edomites, right? And that bottomless pit is talking about talking about Europe, right? Because the reason why it's called the bottomless pit, many wars were fought over there in Europe, as well as Europe is very much so deprived of natural resources, unlike Africa and other, countries and, continents that have, plenty of resources, right? So that's why it's called the bottomless pit. And also that refers to the grave as well, because many battles were fought over there. So getting on to it, says, and shut him up and set a seal upon him that he should deceive the nations no more, right? So at that point in time, right, the Western Roman Empire, right, was shut down. And the only empire that continued on for another 1,000 years was what? The Byzantine Empire, which Jake was ruling, which America and, American history, they teach that was called the Dark Ages, right? It says to the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. And after that 1,000-year period, you have something called the Renaissance era, right? And that Renaissance era is called the rebirth of what? European or European society. You see what I'm saying? A white culture, right? So it says to the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. And then after that, he must be loosed a little season, right? So that's the point. The Heavenly Father ultimately let him loose a little bit. Ultimately, that what? He would deceive the nations, right? And then ultimately, right? Just for a little season. And we can see that little season is coming to a close, right? Based on what we see in, videos like this and then other articles and different things that we see, that are happening on the news. So let's get into this real quick. Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 5. Yea, also, because he transgresseth by wine. What is that wine? The different doctrines that they teach, man. The philosophies that America teaches and pushes forth and propagates throughout the earth, man. Right? Talking about homosexuality is okay. Right? Teaching, that, our children, about homosexuality and then comforting them and making them think that, it's okay to be like that. And then when a father or a mother tries to step in and teach their child the right way, they get penalized, man. Right? So just among other things, right? It says, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home. He always in somebody else's business, right? And that's why ultimately you see these Palestinian people, they going crazy for their country, man, right? It says, who enlarges his desire as hell and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations and heapeth unto him all people. That's what America does. America is ancient Babylon. And back in ancient Babylon, you had all of these different races of people, nations of people coming to Babylon for what? For prosperity. And that's what people come to America for, right? And gathering unto him all people. He enlarges his desire as hell. So basically what America does is they go through all of these different countries throughout the world and set up an embassy there. And ultimately, right, basically trying to push forth their influence. They cripple the economy and then put in a puppet leader in that economy. It's like in that country that's going to enforce what? The laws that America wants to be propagated throughout all the earth, which is some freak shit anyway, right? And also they'll use different things, different strategic tactics like for certain countries that depend on America for aid, they'll withdraw some aid unless that country's leader abides by the laws that America is pushing forth in America. Homosexuality, for example, right? And a lot of West African countries, they pushing that and denying aid to certain West African countries. But as of lately, a lot of West African countries have been pushing up against that, right? So showing you that what America's losing its power, man. And that's only going to continue to increase as the times goes on. Right now, we have the BRIC nations, right, which is Brazil, Russia, India, China, and all the nations that have since joined them, right, and then attempting to also join them as well. Hey, they coming up against America, man, financially. And that's one way that you hit America hard, man. You take away that dollar, right, which ultimately we see that dollar is about to be finished. Still holding some strength, but the Heavenly Father is waiting for the right opportunity to go ahead and tackle it all together, right? Verse 6, it says, shall not all these take up a parable against them and a taunting proverb against them and say, woe unto him that increaseth that which is not his, right? So all of these other nations, when they finally see America fall, they're going to say, woe unto him, right? What are they saying? They taking up a taunting proverb, right, against America. And that's what you see these other nations doing right now, right? And that's all a prelude into what's actually coming in the near future, right? All of these nations joining up together against America. And you also read that in Revelation, the 17th chapter, when it goes into America's allies are going to shoot missiles upon America, man, and destroy this place, right? So them lighting fire to the American flag, the Palestinian boy, wherever his nation was, basically saying the only good American flag is a burnt one. Hey, that's the Heavenly Father foreshadowing what's about to happen to America everywhere throughout all the earth. I mean, like, I'm not saying every country, but you see more now than ever countries burning American flags on live TV, global news, right? So people are starting not to be afraid of this place, right? It says, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his, how long, right? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. When you go into that word for thick clay, it goes into what? Heavy debts, right? America is what? 33, 34, 35. I haven't checked in a little bit, but last time I checked, it was like around like $33 trillion in debt. Probably more now, right? I'm sure it's probably more, right? And it says, woe unto him who increaseth that which is not his. Hey, America's a thief, right? Starting about how they got this land to begin with, right? Treachery, deceit, robbery, all of these different things, right? Verse 7, it says, shall not all these, shall not they rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and await that shall vex thee? And now it shall be for booties unto them. Absolutely. Because what does that mean? America's going to be a spoil for all of these other nations. They're going to take everything America got, man. right? And it says, because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, because of men's blood, and for violence of the land, of the city, and of all that dwell therein. Right? And that's the point, man. Ultimately, that's what's happening upon America. Why? Because ultimately, verse 12, right? Woe unto him that buildeth a town with blood and establish a city by iniquity. And that's what happened, right? That's the same way if you think that you buying a house, right? You stole that house from somebody. You wound up stealing the deed and doing some trick scam stuff. And now you up. You and your family up like 100 years later because you done stole this crib from somebody. You think that eventually somehow the Heavenly Father you think that somehow you just going to continue to prosper off that? No, the Heavenly Father is going to balance the scales, and you're going to suffer because ultimately, you try to basically kill somebody to obtain, some wealth. That's what America did, man. Right. And you see how ultimately that's not going to last, man. Right. What America has going on. The Heavenly Father about to bring it into all this because now it's America's time to be spoiled. What goes around has to come back around, right? Isaiah chapter 33, verse 1, it says, woe to thee that spoilest, and thou was not spoiled, right? So ain't nobody try to mess with you, America, right? Ain't nobody try to mess with these devils, man, right? But hey, they went around, they started throwing the first punch. So what has to happen, right? It says, woe unto thee that spoilest, and thou was not spoiled, and dealest treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee. When thou shalt cease to spoil, so when they stop spoiling, stealing, robbing, killing, murdering, right? It says, when thou shalt cease to spoil, so when they stop and all that, thou shalt be spoiled. Now the Heavenly Father going to cause them to be spoiled, right? The same thing that they was using against other people is about to be used against them. And when thou shalt make an end to deal treacherously, so when you stop, you say, man, I'm just trying to live peacefully now, right? They shall deal treacherously with thee. And that's why you see a lot of times, you'll see like a drug dealer, a murderer, or whatever. Once he trying to lead a game, what happened? Now, ultimately, his last lick, he get booked. You see that in the movie all the time, man. Right? Hey, now you trying to chill out after you done damaged all of these people. You think that it's not going to come back around? The scriptures say that Heavenly Father's judgment is likened unto a ring, meaning that what goes around comes back around, and each and every one of us got to know that, man. Right? And and America is not exempt. Right, all of the bloodshed, right, for the Mexicans, for the Native Americans, for the Seminole Indians, for the so-called blacks, right, for the so-called Puerto Ricans, right, all of the innocent blood that was shed here, right, the innocent children, right, the splitting up of the families, right. America has all that blood on its hands, man, and it has to be repaid. And the Heavenly Father, he is all about what? Balancing scales, man, right. What goes around has to come back around. And see what America now does is, right, America wants to put his hands up and say, can't we all just get along? Hey, how long we been saying that? How long have we been saying, cannot we all get along? Right. But now, ultimately, now the shoe is on the other foot. And America, what? Is influence and its strength is waning. Right. It's weakening. Right. Now, ultimately, now America's looking for allies. Now America wants friends. Now America wants to be the cool guy on the block. No. We ain't forget about all the damage that you done did to people. Now, the Heavenly Father, he's all about what? Damaging you now, right? And that's the thing, right? So let's get this. Numbers chapter 35. And this is what the Heavenly Father is about. When you read the Bible, this is what it says, right? It says, Numbers chapter 35 and verse 33. So you shall not pollute the land wherein you are, for blood it defileth the land, and land defiles his blood. More likely than not, on a lot of the states that we live on, even some of the houses that we live on, there are bones of Native Americans, Mexicans, Seminole Indians, and so-called black people of our ancestors and forefathers and foremothers, right? The bones of infants in those burial grounds, man. It's like that they living on top of. Some Walmarts are probably on top of them ancient burial grounds, man. Right? So it says, so you shall not pollute the land wherein you are, for blood it defileth the land. And the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. So ultimately, how do you cleanse the land of blood? You got to shed the person's blood who shed it first. That's balance, right? And see, America is so weak. Everybody's so pussyfied. Everybody's so PC, right? That when you start talking about judgment, when you start talking about balance, when you start talking about payback, right? Everybody say, well, that's wicked. No, the scriptures tell you in the Bible, right, it is a righteous thing to recompense tribulation, right, or trouble to them that trouble you, right? It also says an eye for an eye. Yeah, we all get that, right? But you have to keep things in context, right? Now, ultimately, when dealing with your brother, yeah, you don't want to render evil for evil, right? You want to let bygones be bygones, right? But at the same time, ultimately, you see many different scriptures where ultimately, hey, what? We got to offer that payback back. You see what I'm saying? And you also see that in the book of Revelation, the 18th chapter, right? Revelation, the 18th chapter, right? It says Revelation chapter 18 and verse 6, reward her as she have rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works, and the cup which she have filled to her double, right? So it says, do to her as she has done to others. What is this talking about? This is talking about Babylon. And what's modern day Babylon? America, right? It says double her penalty for all her evil deeds. She brewed a cup of terror for others, but brewed twice as much for her, right? She glorified herself and lived in luxury. So match it now with torment and sorrow. She boasted in her heart, I am queen of my throne, and I am no helpless widow, and I have no reason to mourn. That's what America thinks, man, right? That's what America thinks. But it says, therefore, these plagues will overtake her in a single day, death and mourning and famine. She will completely be consumed by fire, for the Heavenly Father who judges all, so like who is judged, who judges her is mighty. That's the point, man. And we see that that's coming, right? So all of these things, right? Like now, ultimately, when dealing with your brother, when dealing with your people, you want to be merciful, right? But when you have another nation of people that constantly oppresses you and attacks you, the Heavenly Father is not about you being no test dummy. He's not about you being no crash dummy. And he's not about you getting slapped up and continuing to lay down and let somebody walk over your back. It's a balance, and it's a balance to everything. And you have to know when to apply something and when not to apply something. So when turning the other cheek is really referring to your brothers, your own people. You see what I'm saying? Right? Now, ultimately, if somebody's trying to harm you and you have to defend yourself, hey, absolutely, you gotta go full throttle. But then we also see in so many other scriptures where ultimately, right, we have to give them payback, because the Heavenly Father is all about what? Rendering vengeance and balancing scales, man, right? So, hey, those debts must be paid, man, right? And there's a plethora of different scriptures that we can go to, man, right? That goes into Esau, Edom being repaid for his wickedness, man, right? So, hey, but that's what's coming. All of these other nations, right? They're rising up against Esau, Edom, the so-called white man who rules the earth. And they're seeing that what? He is an unfit ruler. Like it says in Sirach, the 10th chapter, a wise king will destroy his people, but the government of a prudent man, which is a wise man, shall be well ordered. This place is not well ordered. America is decaying. Every which turn, potholes all over the place, right? People losing Social Security, right? Widows not being taken care of, fatherless and homeless children. Everybody strung out on drugs. And then the people that's in the that's actually in the corporate America workforce, all of these people are damn near on antidepressants, man. Right? So you see that ultimately America is through, and there's no resuscitating this place. There's no coming back for America. America is done, right? And all of these other nations, they know it, man. Right? So, hey, the time is coming where America is about to take a great fall. America is no different than any other great nation from before. Babylon, Nineveh, the Medo-Persian Empire, right? Ancient Egypt, right? The Grecian Empire, the Roman Empire, all of these great empires, and at their particular time were seen as what? The superpowers of the earth, right? Some of the different nations in which the different kingdoms in which I named, right? All of them had what? A rise, and they had a fall, man. So, hey, America's about to take a big fat L, and the writing is on the wall, man. So, hey, with that, I don't want to rock this out. All you sincere-hearted true believers were edified, were exhorted, and were comforted. And I want to give all glory, honor, and praise unto my power, Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. Hey, shalom, shalom.